What's up, guys? Mirror Gaming here, back with some more Idle Heroes news for July 15th, 2025. Yes, we're already halfway through the month, and we have a big event coming up with a brand new hero, and that's what we're going to talk about here today. We have Ignacia, the female abyss mage. I mean, this hero has to be a mage, right? Just the way she looks and everything. We'll have to see how she turns out. Her kit is very basic. We're going to go over the design of her, the skills, as well as her tenets here today, and talk about if this hero is worth building. So hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Hit that subscribe button. We still got that 95,000 subscriber giveaway down in the comments down below. Let's get going. All right, so we have Ignacia here, Ignacia, something along that line. Basically, what they're saying here is Ignacia draws her origin from the depths of the abyss, which again makes perfect sense. Consequently, her visual design blends an arcane element and a primal force of volcanic magma, which even her outfit, her hands, everything is very lava-esque. Interesting. Built upon a foundation of abyssal black and molten red, accented with gold, she embodies a character whose power is intensely suppressed. Should this force spiral out of control, magma would bloom across the land like flowers in a meadow, and flames would pour down upon the continent like a torrential downpour. For her weapon, so I'm guessing her weapon is either the scroll or the fire, I don't know. We chose the relatively traditional magic book, so yes, definitely a mage. On one hand, this signifies her role as a mage, yep. On the other hand, Ignacia is a feral character who has never received formal magic training. Thus, her structured magic book imbued with systematic rules helps her better control her power. At the very least, preventing magma flowers from blooming uncontrollably across the entire idle continent. So interesting to say the least. Now let's talk about her actual skills here today. So let's start up here. Yeah, I mean, this character looks pretty good, I gotta admit. I like how like the molten magma blends in with both hands here, even like this, like it's almost like a dress with like a belt line here, which is interesting. Yeah, okay, so Ignacia. First up, we have the active skill. Let's try to zoom in on this a little bit. So, deals attack damage to random enemies. Depending on how many random enemies, that's going to lead to how much power she has. If fervent growth is stacked to max layers, deals extra damage to the targets. As for the targets with infernal spore, deals a certain percentage of their max HP. And then, of course, it caps based on her attack. Afterward, removes all layers of Inferno Spore on the battlefield and the count of Fervent Growth. So she has two different keywords here that we have to jump into that we'll get to in a minute. And then we'll come back to this active skill to talk about it. Overall, the fact that it's random enemies, if it's like 4 enemies, that's pretty solid. If it's 2 enemies, that's pretty weak. I'm hoping, to be honest, it's 4 to 5. 4 to 5 is like a good sweet spot. If it was going to be like up to 6, it would say all. So I'm going to say 4 is a good guesstimate when you have her, imprints done and everything. That's probably a good bet. Now, core abilities: crit, attack, damage reduction, HP. Solid set of skills there. No control immunity and speed to disrupt damage reduction. That's not too bad. The Inferno Spore, which is her basic attack, that is one of those keywords there. And again, Inferno Spore is a skill effect, not stackable. When the owner takes dot damage, deals a certain percentage of the owner's attack damage to random allies on that team. So that's pretty interesting. But basic attack is going to inflict that Inferno Spore again on random enemies, and random enemies not telling us how many. It could be 2, could be 1, it could be 4 and be good. I don't know. And deals attack damage to them. Afterward, it will burn them, dealing damage equal to a certain percentage of attack for several rounds. So this is pretty important because the Inferno Spore directly interacts with the active skill, so having a bunch of these up is really needed. It's not stackable, so just getting it on the target is important here. And it's not like it's a dot that's going to last a certain amount of rounds. It basically lasts until it gets removed by the active skill. Last, Fervent Growth, passive skill. At the end of each round, for every several enemies with Inferno Spore, so maybe it's like for every 2 enemies with it on the battlefield, you increase self-active skill all damage dealt next time, and it has a cap to the number of that. And again, that references right back to this here, because number one, If Fervent Growth is stacked to the max, which like it says right here, this is max stacked, and it's going to be increasing self-active skills, all damage dealt, not all skills, just the active skill, it sounds like. If it's stacked to the max, it's going to deal extra damage to the targets. In what form, we don't really know, but if the target has Inferno Spore, it's going to deal another layer of damage to them based on a certain percent of their max HP, capped out, of course, at the percentage of attack from Ignacia. Afterward, removes all the Inferno Spores and resets the Fervent Growth. So this is interesting. So this Inferno Spore is a debuff skill effect on the enemy that doesn't get removed by anything, skill effect, whereas the Fervent Growth is just a buff to herself, I guess. I don't know if it can be removed or not, but increases her active skill, all damage. So this hero is 100% reliant on a gigantic nuke of an active skill, and we'll have to see how that works out, especially with Inferno Spore. When the owner, so the owner is, I'm guessing, the one who has Inferno Spore, not Ignacia. When the owner takes dot damage, deals a certain percentage of the owner's attack damage to random out. So it's almost like if I'm Ignacia and I put it on a Tix on the other side of the battlefield, and then there's a Gustin right next to him. If Tix has Inferno Spore on them and they take dot damage, they then also deal, that Tix deals damage based on their attack to a Gustin. I don't know. It's a little confusing, and we'll have to see how it turns out in game, because I don't think there's going to be a straightforward way to see it. And of course, we have the homeowners here. Yeah, we have the homeowner spot. Not a bad one overall. Having like a Drake that you want to build early is good. Eos is a very good light hero to build to get C-Lane 20 done. Gaggy, not the best. Luna, not the best. I mean, it's not the worst home we've seen, but it's nowhere near the best. Now, I don't know if this hero sounds worthy to be a first E5 hero. I feel like every time a new hero comes out, that's my first thought. Is like, does this change up the early game meta? And the fact that she doesn't really have any self-sustain or anything like that leads me to believe the answer is a no. Granted, she has really good synergy with the Phoenix monster, which is definitely the first monster you want to build, it feels like nowadays. But we do have our anniversary account that has just been sitting. We have a ton of scrolls, and I'm basically leaving that to be a new free-to-play series or something, where we have a bunch of scrolls right out of the gate. We can build the hero right away and see how we can actually perform. Granted, doing summons with only 100 bag space is the biggest pain in the butt in the world, but we can get it done across a week. I just don't think the tenants for this hero either do much to really support her like an L. I mean, I think that's probably one of the biggest issues nowadays with new heroes, is their tenants are just not great. Eloise tenants were some of the best heroes in Idle Heroes history, and new heroes honestly just suck. So I don't know. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Let me know what you guys think in the comment down below about this hero. Hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys next time.